Hi Libra, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your April 2021 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's a Celtic crossbred as always, and I also pulled an Oracle card and a Mudra card for you guys. But we're actually going to start by rolling those astrology dice in front of us to get an idea for where your focus will be as far as the astrology goes. So we'll get started with that. Okay, so we have Taurus. So, toward the end of April, the Sun will be in Taurus, and I think Venus, which is your ruler, is going to be there as well. I think a little bit past the midpoint of April, if I'm not mistaken. And for you guys, Taurus is your 8th house, so it could be related to death and rebirth themes, intimacy, investments. We have 11, which is your 11th house of friendships, groups, hopes and wishes, and for you guys that is Leo. So nothing's really going to be going on there, astrologically speaking. But that could be an area of focus. And then we have the North Node. So the North Node is in Gemini, which is your 9th house. So that could be related to higher learning, your philosophies, foreign affairs, but that's what I'm seeing there. Alright, so we'll get started with the main spread. Main situation position, we have the Fool. So the Fool represents being ready to start something new, taking a leap of faith towards something new. And I will say, at the time of recording this, we haven't had it yet, but we're about to have that full moon in Libra soon. So as we start the month of April, you guys would have just gone through that full moon. So that could be, maybe where you wrap one thing up and decide to start something brand new in that regard. But yeah, it looks like you're just ready to come out and start something new and different. It could be partially because you guys have Mars moving through the sign of Gemini, which is your 9th house. So that could give you that expansive type of feel to your energy right now. In the challenge or obstacle position, we have the Sun and the World. So, two really strong positive cards, but for them to come up in the challenge position, it's interesting, right? So, one thing this could just be saying is that you might have a readiness to start something new, but you also, things might come to light that you still need to wrap something else up first before you could start that brand new thing. So there could be realization around that. Now, I do have to say, maybe not for a large percentage of you, but for some of you, what this could be around as well is some of you could actually be giving birth this month, or for others of you, you might be conceiving this month. So that's another way I could see these energies playing out as well. Trying to see if anything else comes to mind with this. But yeah, for the majority of you, that's primarily what I'm picking up on. You have this readiness and willingness to start something new, but I feel like there's a realization that before you can do that, there's something that you do need to wrap up first. Alright, in the foundation position, we have the 6 of Swords. So this is Aquarius energy here. And this could just be pointing to a timeline saying that, whatever this is that you need to wrap up before you can start the new thing you're hoping to is could just be something that you might have entered into during Aquarius season, possibly around the time of the Aquarius new moon. And of course, we had that Mercury retrograde energy in Aquarius as well. So, it would make sense that maybe you thought, okay, you enter into something around that time, and now you realize maybe you're having second thoughts, right? Or maybe even thought that back then that you would have been able to wrap that up by now, but because that was agreed to during the Mercury retrograde, there could still be some confusion around getting that wrapped up. Let's see if anything else comes to mind with this. For some of you, it can be around romance, creative projects, since it is 5th house energy for you, and obviously there's a lot of energy going on in there as we speak. We still have Jupiter and Saturn there. Trying to think. Well, Mercury's just about to leave there. I don't think it has yet at the time recording this, but yeah. In the past position, we have the Chariot. So this is actually Cancer energy. So yeah, again, I'm getting that feeling that in the past, you guys might have actually been ready for a fresh start and actually been taking action toward that. So for some of you, this could be something as minor as paperwork, where maybe you agreed to one thing, thought that everything was closed out with that, and you're starting a brand new thing, and then you just might get some information that, hey, we need you to resubmit this form. It doesn't have to be anything major, but yeah. With the Chariot in the past position, it looks like you were being pulled in this direction. I feel like this is tied to the Fool energy, just because he is moving toward that direction if we look at how they're laid out in the spread. So could be around career for some of you, definitely, since the Chariot and Cancer energy does represent your 10th house of career and social status. But yeah, it looks like, there was plans and an agenda to move this forward in the past, and I feel like you guys were actually doing so. But now, like I said, it just looks like something from the past might have come back up for you to look at again. And I do have to say, given that that's Cancer energy too, again, this could be a theme around having children. In the present position, we have the Nine of Wands. So this is actually Sagittarius energy here. And for you guys, that's your third house communication. So again, I feel like this is the same thing where there might have been a lot of planning, a lot of building things up to get things moving. And now you might have hit like a bit of a brick wall with that, right? So again, I feel like you might have to go back to renegotiate something. I don't necessarily feel like whatever this is a deal breaker, but it could just be something that might have been overlooked when the plans were initially put in place. Again, I feel like this definitely could just be pointing to that Mercury retrograde energy if that was when you guys entered into the agreement. So you could just be like, okay, well, I thought we were ready to roll. You were fully prepared for that, but now you find out, oh, no, we got to go back and redo something. So that's what I'm seeing there. In the near future position, we have the Two of Swords. So this is actually Libra energy, first 10 degrees of Libra. So if that's your placement, this might be resonating with you a little more. But again, now I feel like whatever this little roadblock you've hit is, it might have you reconsidering the whole thing altogether for whatever reason. What always stands out to me with the artwork with this card is she has her back turned to the water and to that moon symbol. Both, to me, symbols of emotions, and it looks like a heart is crossed, another symbol of emotions. So now you could just be, trying to separate the emotion out of whatever the situation is and just try to figure out from a logical standpoint what the best approach is with this new information coming out. In the position of your influence on the situation, we have the Hangman. So yeah, it looks like whatever this is, it might have kind of put your energy to a halt, where you, again, I feel like there was this readiness on your part to totally go out, do something brand new, and now there's something blocking that, where, again, like I said, it could have just been a slight oversight where they're like, oh, wait, before we can move forward with this, we need to wrap this up first. So again, I don't necessarily feel like it derailed the plans altogether, but it's just more of a delay energy I'm feeling with this. So yeah, now, but like I said, for some of you, whatever this blockage is could have you just reconsidering the whole plan. Now I don't know if that's because you guys are, maybe it kind of burst your bubble a little bit to where you're like, oh, I don't know if I should even do this at all now. If that's the case, if this really was something that you were very eagerly looking forward to, I don't think you need to scrap it all together. But yeah, it does look like there's definitely some kind of a blockage that you guys have hit with the situation. But it could just be saying that, you're trying to keep an optimistic viewpoint around it, but it could be a bit of a struggle for you currently anyway. All right, in the environment position, a lot of cards came up. Can't even freaking pick them up, but all right, there we go. So we have the Queen of Swords, which is actually the court card for Libra. So that's you guys. We have the Ace of Wands, the Seven of Pentacles, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Moon. So yeah, for some of you, seeing the Libra energy here and the Moon, again, I feel like there could be some significance around that full moon energy that you guys are going to have in your sign. So for those of you who watched this when I first posted, it hasn't happened yet, like I said, but if you're watching it in April, it would have happened already. But yeah, could be around that. With that full moon, maybe you're actually making the decision to move on something. So, we see that Ace of Wands. That could have been when you made that decision, right? So I can see that that's where the Fool energy comes in. Now, for some of you, it could have been something that you put a lot of time into, right? But you could have decided one way or another to continue putting effort toward that, right? To keep building from the 7 to the 10, or just deciding, okay, maybe to start something totally new. And now with that moon energy, you could just be second guessing it. Like I said, given whatever this blockage is that seemed to have slowed things up for you guys. Let's see if anything else comes to mind with this. Now, I do have to say, this is Virgo energy here. And then in your outcome position, we also have Virgo energy. So this could just be pointing to a rework of the timeline of whatever this fresh start is for you guys. So I'll mention that a little bit more when we do get to the outcome, but that is another way I could see this energy playing out. And there could be some frustration around that, where you're like, okay, seriously? So yeah, it could just be a delay situation. In the hopes or fears position, we have the Queen of Cups. So for you guys, this is 10th house energy. So again, it can totally be related to career projects that you guys are working on, but I do have to say, seeing this particular energy again showing up for you, some of you, this can be around deciding to have a child. So that theme seems to keep coming up. So yeah, for some of you, it could be one of those things where maybe you guys have even planned, like, all right, we'll try to conceive around this time, right? So let's say if you conceived in Aries season, when you get to Capricorn season, that would be when you actually have the child. So, maybe you guys agreed to that, but then for whatever reason, you might have to rework that plan for whatever. I mean, there's a multitude of reasons why that could happen, but that's what I'm seeing there. And for some of you, I feel like this just might be a sudden shift for you in a certain regard, to where maybe for a long time you decided you didn't want children, and now all of a sudden your outlook on that is changing. So that's what I'm seeing there. And I will say at the bottom of the deck also, we have the Star card. So this is the Major Arcana card for Aquarius. Like we said, there's been tons of activity there, not as much now as there was during Aquarius season, but still quite a bit going on there. So this could just be saying that, this is you're on the right path. So again, I don't necessarily feel whatever this is, you need to scrap it all together, but there could definitely just be some delays, because to me, the Star card comes after the Tower. So, usually when I see this card, it represents that someone is on the right path, even if they've gone through some setbacks to get there, but that's what I see there. And then in the outcome position, we have the Knight of Pentacles. So this is actually the court card for Virgo. And what I was saying with this, given that I'm seeing this here and we see the Virgo energy in the environment, part of the issue could be that maybe there was something that you were planning on having wrapped up by, Taurus season, but now whatever these discussions may be around, you might find out that realistically you're not going to get to the goal you were hoping for until we get to Virgo season. And then that could be why the Knight of Pentacles is showing up in your outcome position, where, now it's kind of set in stone, right? Like I said, maybe this was more of a verbal agreement, let's say, right? Whatever the plan was that you guys had, verbal agreement, okay, yep, you're totally going to be able to start around this time. Now there's a delay around it, but the plus side of that would be at least now it's all in writing, right? And maybe even because you demand that, because you're like, okay, well, the last time we talked, you told me it was going to be done this time. Now you're changing it to, months down the line. I want it in writing, so it could be one of those things. But now for some of you, it doesn't necessarily have to mean that this will take until Virgo season. For some of you, on the more positive side, it still could point to Taurus season, but it's basically this Pentacle energy is showing up to show you that, hey, this isn't really going to fully develop until we get into the next Earth energy, which would be Taurus, of course. But either way, it looks like it's saying that whatever this plan is that you had in place, looks like there's going to be some delays around it, but at the very least, you'll be able to have the confidence that it will actually come to fruition, just maybe not as quickly as you would have liked, basically. All right, so moving on to your Oracle card, we have Deep Knowing. There's the artwork, and the number is 43. All right, so let's see what that's about. Okay, it says intuition, listening to the oracle within, empathy, hypersensitivity. The Oracle's message. Intuition is the faculty that allows you to enter into a dialogue with Source, the consciousness that you are a part of but cannot see with the naked eye. It's perplexing that people are taught to ignore this natural capacity to navigate their journeys, to access their inner guidance. Know that you have an ability to read between the lines and find all the truth that was missing when the story was told. This deep knowing allows you to open the door to wisdom far greater than what is available in the limitations of human experience. You're given information that may make no sense whatsoever to the logical mind or five senses, but which is 100% correct and true. The trick is to listen and then to act accordingly. You're now invited into this sacred dialogue of deep knowing, so tune in and trust your vibes. They will be right. Ask and you will receive answers from unusual sources. So, definitely an interesting message there. Hopefully that resonated with you. And then the relationship message says there are occasions when you just know deep in your heart and soul that a person is going to play a meaningful role in your life. Someone crosses your path, then suddenly, out of the blue, you're connected at a level impossible to describe. That feeling marks a moment in time etched indelibly onto your soul. Someone has entered your life who will be instrumental in your journey, so pay attention. Two hearts are calling to each other to begin an alchemical process. This is also a sign that your intuition about the person you care about is correct. Trust your heart to lead you now. Magic is about to happen. So, another pretty positive message there. I didn't get a huge one-to-one relationship vibe with this, but hopefully that resonated with you guys if that's the guidance you were looking for. And I will say, reading that message, that did make me think of the Libra full moon again that you guys are going to have. It's actually going to be opposite the Sun, Venus, and Chiron. So it's going to be a pretty intense energy. So, you guys might actually get some pretty good insights during that full moon. So, again, for those of you who do watch this before we're physically in April, definitely keep an eye out for that full moon. All right. And the prosperity message says this is a time when your hunches will pay large dividends if you listen to them, take the risk, and act. Within you there is an oracular consciousness, a higher and deeper knowing that transcends the machinations of the smaller thinking mind. At the deep level of your intuitive senses, you have an access point to the genius of the collective. The energies of all thinkers and creators, all inventors and leaders, and all that you need in order to leap into success are available to tune into. This is an act of listening intently. Past the busy mind, your genius awaits. So interesting message there, and that did make me think of the Fool card energy there, where it mentioned, taking a risk and then act. So hopefully that resonated with you guys. And finally, we have a Mudra card for you guys. So the Mudra you got for this month is the Bhairava Mudra. Keyword for this fierceness. And I do have to say, with that particular gesture there, that actually, again, makes me think of motherhood for some of you. So, yeah, for some of you, this definitely could be plans around becoming a parent for some of you. So, not all, obviously, but for some of you, that just keeps coming up for me. All right, so there's the info on the card. If you want to pause it or take a screenshot to see what it has to say, but under benefits, it says calms the mind, serves as an aid to meditation, cuts ego clinging, imparts the courage needed to fully embrace life as it is. So if that sounds like something that would be beneficial for you guys, we'll put the name of the Mudra in the description of the video as always. We'll wrap up there. We'll see you all next month. All right, bye.